Thank you for sitting down with us today, Diane. Can you tell us a little bit more about your team and what you do for the university?
My team is the data management and analytics team, and we work within IT, but we provide information across campus to a variety of offices. We provide information about students and majors to academic departments, and we provide additional information to administrative departments. The information we provide generally comes from the Banner system. We can report on students, finance information, financial aid, and other aspects of data captured within Banner. Most of the information we provide is generated in an extract form so that individuals who receive the information are looking at unit records about their students or about their employees. Additionally, however, we can provide data in a dashboard format, and we will be doing more of that in the near future, in the next year.
Okay. Can you give us an example of a typical report?
A typical report that we process is generally, in the most part, related to student information, where an academic department or an administrative unit will contact us. They'll submit a report request, and we will, once that report request has been approved, we will go to work and start looking for the data in the Banner system, pulling it together, and giving it back to the requester in the format they want it. A lot of the information, as I said, is related to student, and one of our most important and most used reports is the Universal Majors and Minors report. That report captures a lot of information about majors within a particular academic department, and it can be used by all departments across campus if they are related to students or student access. When they request this particular report, they request the information for their department only and for their major, and they can get the format in a variety of formats, and they can request output that would include a mailing address or a permanent address. The report includes a wealth of information about each student, including their email. So typically this report is used in a lot of ways to determine how student progress is happening, and also for contacting students within a particular academic department.
Okay, how would I go about requesting a new report?
When a person wants a new report at 365, and they can find that form in Form Central, and they fill out the form request, the report request, with any necessary information that's going to help us develop the best report for them. And then they get approval from their department, from the FERPA coordinator, and ultimately the report request is then sent to the data management and analytics team, and then it is given to a report developer to be finished. Part of the process of requesting a new report is to review the output before we publish it in an Active Directory.
How long does it take to get a new report created then? And do I need approval?
An important part of requesting a report is two things, actually. One is the awareness that it's going to take a little time to get a new report developed. It may take 2 weeks. That is because we have workload that we're already, working on, and then we add the new report into that chain. The other thing that's very important is the understanding that there's going to be approval process. We are very sensitive to student privacy, and we will not give unit record out to anyone unless it has been approved by the FERPA coordinator. So those are two things that we need to keep in mind when we're requesting new reports.
You must get a lot of requests for the same report. How do I know if a report already exists?
We often get a request for a report that already exists, and it can be a challenge. We have a lot of reports, and so for us, it can be a challenge to search and find that report that's already out there so that we're not duplicating something that already exists. A lot of times within departments, the person that was running a particular report resigns or leaves, and a new person is not in place before all of that information has been shared. So the new person comes in and requests a new report, and not knowing that it already exists. So it's kind of on us. It's kind of on the requester to do a little bit of homework and to make sure that we're not duplicating reports. But it does happen, and we try to eliminate duplication, but I know that it does happen. So it's kind of in the ball's in both courts in that situation where we try to keep the duplication at a minimum.
Okay. If I were a new employee, how would I know if my department already has reports created?
If I were a new employee, one of the things that I would do is ask about the Cognos folder for my department. I mean, at some point, Cognos is going to come up for most new employees in an academic or administrative office because we have so many reports that do exist. And so when that new employee is asked to get a new report or to run a report, probably what would be best is if they just called or sent a Teams message to my department and asked about, well, what already exists out here for Cognos. What do I have available that I could run without asking for something new? And then we could go through some of the reports. It will give us an opportunity to review what's active and what's kind of gone stagnant and what's no longer needed. So that would be one thing to do, and we'd certainly be glad to help with that process.
Cognos seems to be an important part of delivering data to our users. Can you tell us about Cognos and how I would access it?
Cognos is a very powerful tool. It is an IBM tool. That says a lot about it right there. It is very powerful, and we're probably using just a portion of a thumbnail of it. We hope to use more of it in the future. In fact, the next version of Cognos, which we're in the process of upgrading to, is Cognos 11, and also known as Cognos Analytics. That will take us into a new arena where we can provide dashboard information, more information that's at a glance perhaps, certainly more reports rather than simply data extracts. We'd like to provide information that people can use at a glance. They can come in the morning and they could take a look at their dashboard and say, wow, here's where our numbers are, and this is where we want them to be. Right now, getting to a Cognos report can seem a little clunky because you're going down through multiple layers in multiple directories. And my goal over the next year is to make that process simpler, where we'll access it more in the format that we access things on Hornet 365. I want to be able to see tiles of reports to make it more accessible to the people that need that information.
If you could share one piece of information or advice to any of our users, what would that be?
If I were to leave a piece of advice for our users, I would frame it in this way, and that is that the data management and analytics team works closely with registration and the FERPA coordinator and with the Office of Institutional Effectiveness to provide accurate information to all of our requesters, all of our users. And we are conscious of accuracy, we're conscious of privacy, and we want to make sure that the information that we are providing is indeed necessary and timely. So the one piece of advice I would give users is to plan ahead. You give us some breathing room to work on their request, but also to realize that the wealth of information that we have is huge. And there are a number of questions that can be answered with the data that we can provide. Thank you for talking with me today. I enjoyed the opportunity to give this information to the campus. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Diane, for answering all of our questions and joining us on It Only Takes a Minute.